Welcome back to Barnard Babble podcast.
I feel you almost forgot. You know
Yeah,
what to say it?
I
Movie
didn't.
edition.
I didn't know how to say it,
Yeah.
honestly. Erica Barnard here.
Justin Barnard here.
Yeah, I'm confused as to what exactly is happening.
I see that. We're talking about Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, baby.
Honor Among Thieves, yes. Yeah, that's the name of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you just now realize that
I
was
did
the
a double
name?
take. I'm like, what's the name of the movie?
Yeah, Honor Among Thieves,
Wow,
yes.
what a generic ass title for this movie.
It is very generic.
I mean, Dungeons and Dragons, but they could have done anything else with like with the subtitle. Anyway.
I feel like aren't there several video games called like Honor Among Thieves or something?
In fact, there is.
Like,
Yeah.
isn't that it's just a phrase?
It is a phrase that has been used in many properties.
It is
yeah.
just a phrase.
Yeah.
Well, so we did just see Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, you guys.
And guess what? It was really good.
Pleasantly surprised by this
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I
I remember when the trailers came out, and I kind of was like, yeah, I kind of want to see this. You
You-
know, like I always was just kind of like, I kind of really want to see this.
You were an
And-
early adopter of the movie.
Yeah, and I have no history with the Dungeons and Dragons game
D&D
or
yikes.
anything like neither of us
Yeah.
do. We've never played it
Yeah.
before.
Listen, we are big nerds, but we ain't that big of nerds.
Oh, that's rude.
What? We are.
That's rude, though.
Is that rude?
They are fine people, the Dungeons and Dragons
You're making it seem
people.
like, listen, I'm not using nerd as a pejorative. I'm just saying, listen, okay, how about this? We are big nerds, but like the branch of nerddom has, split off. I like anime,
Mm-hmm.
I could go on and on about certain animes and give me something else that's super nerdy. What else do I like?
Superhero movies.
Nah, that's like super mainstream.
I mean,
now.
I like that, but yeah,
Listen,
it is very
you
mainstream.
gotta admit though, D&D people are different.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, everybody listening to
They
this.
build different.
I'm sorry.
If you got into D&D, that's a whole nother level. I never got into it. Like friends of mine would try to get me into like Magic the Gathering and
Yeah.
in D&D I was offered, hey, you want to play this tabletop game? I'm
But
like,
you
I
played
can't do it.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, I didn't.
You didn't play Yu-Gi-Oh?
Why do you always say that?
Did you play the Pokemon card games?
No, I had some of the cards. So that's the big difference. There was like two different people. People who had the cards and traded them, collected them, and people who had those cards and played that shit hardcore in the lunchroom in the morning
Yeah.
before school really got started.
What about Beyblades? You have those?
Damn
Did you
right
play
I had-
Beyblades?
Yeah, I had Beyblades.
Did you play Beyblades?
And as a
though?
Beyblader, I think I'm better than the Dungeons and Dragons community.
Wow. Wow.
So what I'm
Just
trying to say is,
offending our audience right now, like the people that are probably coming to hear someone's thoughts on Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves.
these guys look nice. I wonder what they think. Oh,
I
No,
apologize.
I'm not, listen. I mean, I'm not. I don't think I'm really making fun of anybody. I'm just saying, I never got into it.
I never got
Bey-
into it
I
either.
listen, baby. I was a cool kid. I got into cool shit like Beyblade. Okay,
Exactly.
I'm not saying I'm better than other
Freaking
people.
Beyblade, let it rip.
And guess what? I did let it rip. I was buying those plastic shitty domes from Walmart. Listen, come at me.
It's just what was it called?
What's that?
You'll get caught in the crossfire. It's just crossfire.
Crossfire.
Isn't it just crossfire?
Wow. Listen, baby. Talk about offending people. You're offending the Beybladers who will watch this video also.
Beyblade is just crossfire. Come at me. I don't care. And if you don't
I've
know
never-
what crossfire is, you're 12.
young.
And I totally understand that. You weren't alive. I totally get it.
Hey, so Dungeons and Dragons, right? The movie. How about that? It's really good, apparently. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, 93 audience score. And I know people sometimes roll their eyes when people talk about Rotten Tomatoes. I feel like slowly people are getting over that.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. It's a review aggregate.
It is what it is.
It's just letting you know baseline how many quote unquote professional critics thought the movie was good.
Right.
And 90% of critics, so that's out of 218 reviews, thought this movie was good. And I was kind of shocked by that when the reviews were flowing out.
Yeah.
Because the trailers, baby, they did look fine. They looked fine.
They're fine.
Nothing about them was like, this looks bad.
The thing that
But
got
also,
me,
I wasn't
though,
like, yeah. So,
the thing that got me from the trailer was the gelatinous cube. That is like the one thing I
Oh,
know
really?
from Dungeons and Dragons, and also like Adventure Time and other media that is
Oh.
like that fantasy
Yeah.
kind of. The cube. When you're going on an adventure in a dungeon, there's that cube.
oh.
And that scene of them jumping in that cube in the trailer, I was like, they did the cube. I'm going to watch this.
See, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm gonna
yeah.
go see
I
this,
mean,
the
I know from
cubes
the
in
movie, but like, if I saw that, which I did in the trailer, it didn't stick with me, you know?
I think one of the main reasons, though, where I was on the fence was the cast of this. I don't want to say the word B-lister. I don't really want to say that.
B-list?
I don't really want to say it. But at the same time, it's a cast that...
Okay. What are you doing? Chris Pine is not B-list.
You're right. Chris Pine is not. But also...
Okay.
What's he been doing other than that? Okay, stay with me. Other than that one movie that came out recently with Florence Pugh that nobody liked. Nobody liked it.
Okay.
And the Star Trek film.
You've done this a couple times where you talk about like a certain actor or like, what are they doing now or lately?
Why do you have to put that inflection? Why you got to put that? Is it a inflection?
What are you doing now or lately?
Why
it's
do you
like
have to do
just
that?
like even if an actor like hadn't been in like a huge hit in like a year or two, doesn't mean they're not like all of a sudden not in the A-list.
Listen,
like,
baby, I don't have a problem with
you
this
be
man.
respecting.
Okay, I don't have a problem with
disrespecting Chris Pine. Excuse me.
All I'm saying is I just don't feel like he's always in the zeitgeist of the entertainment world.
Okay, looking through his last few works, you're 100% correct. He has not been doing anything.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful. Thanks for agreeing with me.
Yeah, like I'm looking at some of the things he's done before this, and Don't Worry, Darling.
Wonder Woman. He
Not
was in the
good.
Wonder Woman movies, but once again, nobody
Not
really
good.
liked that 1984 one.
And he was in 3 episodes of Robot Chicken from 2014 to 2020.
That's awesome.
So I don't want to hear it. Oh my God, you're kind of right though.
Yeah, I would say he's one of the lesser Chris's in Hollywood as far as like work wise.
Well, but it's interesting though because like I feel like he is like in my brain when I see him, I'm like he's a star.
He's an actor.
He's an actor. So that's just good on him though. I guess for just having
set up
having
a
that persona. He
that
has
way,
that look, that thing about him. The roles that he's
memorable.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
The roles that he's known for is very memorable, and you go like, "Oh, it's Chris Pine."
Yeah, he has a presence, and that's always great if you're an actor.
I see what you're saying now.
Obviously.
Okay, so wait, are you trying to say that Justice Smith and Michelle Rodriguez aren't A-listers? Wow. Okay.
I have no problems with either of these two people, beautiful people. Justice Smith in his own Pokemon movie.
Justice Smith
who
has
else
been
you know in their own Pokemon movie?
To talk about the cast, like no one in this made me go, "Whoa, you're right."
Right.
Yeah.
It's not about the star power for this film because I don't want to say the studio. I think the studio did take a chance. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is a big budget movie.
Budget movie. Who's the studio behind this?
Yep.
We'll find it. We'll cut it out.
Paramount Pictures. The budget was you know what? The budget says it was $150 million.
$150 million.
So $150 million. I mean, that's a lot. But like it looks really good. They did a good job. They did a good job. And it was funny. Like let's just talk about it. It was a funny movie, it was a good movie. The cast was not the reason you go to this movie. And I would say that
which Hollywood doesn't do that really anymore. That's what I'm saying.
What, take chances or
they don't yes. I mean, you have to have like maybe a big star or a big IP, which here the Dungeons and Dragons, I'm assuming is a big IP, quote unquote. I don't think about it every day, but I know that
I never think about it.
It is a thing. It's been around for some decades now, you know, and I know there are really big communities for Dungeons and Dragons.
I wonder if like diehard Dungeons and Dragons fans are looking at this though, like, what is this? Like,
I would love to know.
I have no idea. Like, this isn't like, let us know down below. But it really is. If you've made it this far, if you got over me lightly roasting you for the first 30 seconds, 30 minutes, you know, like, if you're a fan of like Dungeons and Dragons in general, did this movie do it for you? You know,
and I think at this point we can just say D&D.
Yeah, thank you. Because listen, my mush mouth is struggling.
Yeah, D&D HAT.
Oh my God, D&D hat.
Yeah, D&D hat.
Okay,
there you go. Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, like
they took a chance. They took a gamble on this. I really do. They put some effort into it.
It was a fun adventure movie.
Which is why it's great.
It was a fun adventure movie.
There was literal effort put in this. I said this in our John Wick review, where it's like the reason that John Wick was one of the reasons that I really liked it was the practical effects and the locations. Now in this movie, you couldn't tell me that they weren't on some rolling hills or whatever. Maybe they're not, but it looks real. You know?
Yeah. Never in a movie was I looking at a place they were at and went, eesh.
Yeah.
You know, like this don't look right.
This
or
doesn't look right.
moved. I don't like this set piece isn't because. Did you just say Ant-Man Quantumania?
No, I did not. But you can keep going with this thought.
Okay,
I
so
love
like
it.
Ant-Man Quantumania, we get it. They're like in a different, you know, they're in a different realm. They're, you know, it's beyond our world. But like, it looks so bad.
It looks so fake. The actors don't move when they're in a scene.
Yeah.
They just stand there because they can't.
They can't.
Because the CGI artists need them to stand perfectly still and only move their mouths so they can work around, you know, the background, and the lighting is always so flat.
But I don't even know if that's just it. It's like
no, it is.
That's part of it. But it's like, I mean, I'm sure there's other CG heavy movies where they do more. But man, I think Ant-Man Quantumania just
Pandora or whatever.
Pandora?
The the blue people. Avatar, yeah.
Oh God. Yes, I'm just saying there are better examples of CG heavy movies doing more. But it's like you look at a movie like that, and then look at a movie like D&D, and it's wow, practical places,
night and day,
real work put into it.
Right.
You know,
practical effects, practical aesthetics. Yeah. Are we spoiling?
I mean, yeah, we
a little bit of spoilers.
Yeah, hey, spoilers for D&D. We're not gonna
we won't go heavy.
We won't go heavy in it.
A little bit of spoilers.
This is just like a general discussion of the movie.
So the beginning of the movie, when Chris Pine is telling his spiel, you know, to the people of the prison, and we're waiting on Jonathan. First of all, I loved his name. Jonathan.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, Jonathan, okay. And then the more I heard it, I said, this fool's name is Jonathan.
Yeah, they keep saying his name.
Absolutely loved it. And when Jonathan showed up,
yeah,
it looks great.
He's a big freaking
giant eagle bird
puppet thing.
Not to mention the weird small dragon person that was there in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look at his mouth smacking.
I loved it. Look
how great I can touch him.
Yeah.
And there could be some CGI there, but there
definitely is. But
it was very seamless.
Well, yeah, talking about that first scene, you know, like, you know, Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez is, you know, they're escaping from the prison, and that, like, when they actually escape, it's funny because like the guy was like, "We were gonna pardon you," and like, and the one black woman, I can't remember her name, but I don't even know if they gave her a name.
She had a name.
She was just, you know, like the panel of judges, you know, just whether or not they were gonna commute their sentence. When they jump on that bird, she's like, "Jonathan, no,
Jonathan, no." It's great. The comedy.
It was actually funny. It was pleasant.
Actually funny.
And you know, it wasn't like side splitting, but like even just like little gags and just like witty humor and the banter. It worked. It worked.
It was enough to definitely keep you entertained and not take you out of the film. Yeah. Unlike something like Thor: Love and Thunder, where it was so much funny all the time, and a lot of it didn't land, and a lot of it didn't stick, and a lot of it was not natural feeling.
That's a good comparison, yeah.
But when these characters in D&D are interacting with each other, it felt natural. There weren't really too many scenes where I was like, no one would say that. They wouldn't say that, you know, or they wouldn't do that. And whoever wrote the script for this, kudos to them.
Yeah.
Because you hate to say it, but in movies like this nowadays, it's almost like the script is just second thought. It's more set piece action.
And there was
CGI,
that. And there was that. But it
was a great mix of all the things coming together that just make a fun, cohesive film. Like an actual fun action fantasy film that you feel like you just don't see things like this all the time. At least where they're successful, you know?
Yeah.
As far as like making the audience feel something, making people laugh, which they totally did, and making the action really, really exciting.
The action was good. I think that was I was kind of surprised by how good it was.
Michelle Rodriguez, this is probably my favorite movie with her.
Yeah,
like ever.
What she played? Her name in the movie was
She's
Olga.
Olga, yeah.
Was it Olga or Holga?
I think it's Olga.
Olga. The H is silent. You're right. Olga. Anyway, I think you're right. Like I think her top 3 movies are
Here we go.
Fast and Furious 1.
Here we go.
She was a boxer in this one movie. Can't remember the name of it. And then now this, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. She was great. She was great. Once again, we are talking spoilers, so I just we'll get into it. All right, you gone? Okay, we recommend the movie. Go watch it. Okay, at the end of the movie, when like she.
Oh, we going all the way to the end. Yes.
Once again, we're just talking about it. It's just not gonna be like a beat by beat what
Well,
happens
I
in the
would
movie.
say this movie made you feel things.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When she, yeah, we'll get into all that. But like when they kill her,
Yeah.
when they at the very end, I was like, she's sitting there dying, and then her and Chris Pine are singing this song they were saying, and then they start showing flashbacks of, Olga and Chris Pine's daughter. It's not Olga's daughter. It's Chris Pine's him and his late wife's daughter. And they're having flashbacks of just, growing up and living life and having fun. And I'm just like, am I about to cry?
And I did cry.
From an Olga death, from a Michelle death in a D&D action comedy?
I had one big giant crocodile tear come down the right side of my face. I said, are you kidding me?
I almost did. I had to actively be like, la, 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 thinking about other stuff. Don't want to cry in this movie.
They did
Shocking.
They did it.
Which is funny because, like you talk about Thor: Love and Thunder, they tried that mess with Natalie
Jane.
Portman and Jane's character and an emotional
that
thread.
Should have been a huge scene, tears all around the place. Nothing. I had nothing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they've done a bad job because I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. And that character had what? I mean, she was in the first movie. She's been in and out of the MCU, so you should care about that character.
Right.
And you could be like, well, she was marked for death throughout most of the movie. She had cancer, and they were like, oh, the hammer is the only reason she's around still. So maybe you had time to prepare for. I'm just trying to think of reasons someone would argue as to why it didn't hit. Nah, man, come on, they just didn't do a good job.
They didn't do a good job.
And this little movie did it. This movie that I will say didn't have a lot of serious moments. Which is fine.
A comedy action.
It's an action comedy, but Chris Pine does a fine job. Everyone does a good job, but Chris Pine is his main character, and the connection with him and his wife, and Chris Pine can look sad. He's good at looking sad in a moment, and so you're like, oh, okay, they're doing it. But for her to be the one to got it, to get it, I was like, oh wow, they're doing it. And then go ahead, baby, go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's a lot of setup and payoff.
Yes,
and they do it well in this film, and I mean. That is the goal in every movie. You want to set something up, and then you want there to be a payoff. You want it to feel natural and real. The only character that I would say didn't have a lot of that, they didn't dwell too much on her past, was the Changeling
what was
character.
Her name?
Conquer, Dox, or Dork. What was it?
I'm pretty sure it was they just called her Dork. But looking at her name on this, good old Google feed, Doric?
Doric. It was Doric.
Was it Doric?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was the only one that I felt like didn't get a lot of development. But my God, every scene with her
was
using her abilities, I was like, this is the best. It's not the best movie ever, but it's just fun.
I was shocked by it was a little, I don't know if it was a heist scene, but it was a scene where she was spying or whatever.
Yes.
And she started off to fly.
When that took off and she's going through the popcorn or something, and then the way that it was filmed, and that is CGI.
Of course, yeah.
But it was so different and entertaining.
It was like a long tracking shot.
It was a long tracking shot, and she's changing into different creatures. So much fun. Yeah. You've got a character like that. That's how you use that character. And that's how you make audiences love that character because you're like, wow, she's really good at doing that.
That's the kind of scene where you would think of that scene, as an armchair director or just, a movie fan, you'd be like, that'd be cool they did this, and you think about it.
Yeah.
That's the kind of scene that was in the movie.
Right.
It was like, oh man, they did it. Cool. This is a cool scene.
Right.
What if there was a scene where she was trying to escape and she kept changing to different animals, and that'd be cool. They won't do that because it probably costs too much and they can't,
Yeah.
And they did it.
And there was a payoff at the end of that scene too. To a joke set up. Two scenes before. They did it right.
Yeah. And it wasn't it's the thing with these kind of movies. It wasn't grown worthy, which is, easy comparison. We're talking about, Thor: Love and Thunder. That kind of movie, that kind of Marvel movie, that kind of superhero movie, because it's in the zeitgeist, so whatever. People know when you say that, it's not like Marvel humor,
Yeah.
Because that's that's kind of a bad thing these days. It's not good.
So I think some people could compare this movie to a Guardians of the Galaxy, but Guardians of the Galaxy does what they do very well.
Guardians are the only
very well.
They're the only ones still doing it right. Yeah,
they're doing it right. They're doing that dynamic, correct.
Yeah.
Dear God, there is like a 5-minute scene in this movie with Bradley freaking Cooper talking about Guardians of the Galaxy with Rocket freaking Raccoon. And it is one of the best. I almost cried during that scene.
Well, see, yes, because
it is such a touching, like real loving kind of moment.
We're talking about, it's an action comedy. Oh, it's funny. But like there are moments of seriousness, or at least, where they cut down on the just pure comedy.
Yeah.
And that's one of the moments. It's like, it's a good balance of like, hey, we're gonna give you a reason to care about these characters. We're gonna get, like you said, we're gonna tug at your heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah. And
we're gonna give these people like, if not like an amazing motivation, because sometimes you're just like, okay, they're just going along with this,
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, they were a group of thieves and whatever, and that and they got separated for a couple of years, and they're back together to try to save Chris Pine's daughter, and and to take down a guy who betrayed them. Do
you think the pacing was well?
Yes, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like they give you that baseline of what this movie is pretty quickly, and I was shocked. I think I told Erica it was what did I say? It was the second best movie or third best movie we've seen all year. Yeah, second best movie of the year is what I think I said, right behind John Wick. And you were like, well, we saw Creed this year.
I was like, what about Creed?
Well, and I was like, I said what I said, the second best movie of the year. I think I maybe enjoyed it more than Creed. Honestly, like
it was just fun.
It was fun.
A different movie.
Whatever. Yeah. Whatever. Like people do top 10 lists. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If we're gonna arbitrarily rank these movies, I enjoy John Wick the most, followed by Dungeons and Dragons, which I never would have thought.
Never in a million years.
You semi had to drag me to go see this movie. I wasn't like super enthused. Even though, like I said, the trailers were inoffensive, but I wasn't like hyped. I wasn't hyped to see this movie.
Yeah.
Which usually, if we go to theaters to see a movie, I'm somewhat hyped.
Right.
the tad bit of hypeness. But it was this movie and also Shazam, which we didn't go see. We didn't go see Shazam.
We did not.
We're not gonna talk about that movie. Maybe we'll see it before too long, and we'll talk about it in like a most disappointing movies release. Because it didn't seem good. It got middling reviews and it bombed. So we're good. We ain't gonna talk about that. But in the same vein, I was like, ugh, I don't want to see this. Now, granted, I don't want to see D&D. Now, when the reviews start rolling out, I was like, well, there has to be a reason that people love it. There has to be a reason.
Yeah.
And there was. It did everything so well.
It is a solid.
I'm trying to think of what
solid kind of fun fantasy action movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what are critiques for this movie?
I'm trying to think of those too, but
yeah.
If 12-year-old Erica are you kidding me? I would be obsessed.
Yeah.
Like if you are a child watching this movie, I can only imagine.
Yeah, you probably had a lot of fun.
It's so imaginative and creative and beautiful. Like a lot of the scenes are really pretty, and things like that. I would be obsessed. Everything would be Dungeons and Dragons. I would try and learn how to play the game, because that's the kind of kid that I was. If I found something I was into, forget about it. I'm going to obsess over that thing for the next 6 months till something else comes along and I obsess about that. But they did a really good job. And I even really like the stoic one character, Zane, or what was his name?
Oh my God. I don't remember anybody's name in this movie. So look, that's not like a damning critique of the movie. That's just me. Whoa, what is his name? What is this guy's real name? He was in Bridgerton.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't want to say this.
It looks like Regé.
Regé-Jean Page?
Jean Page?
Listen, Bridgerton stands.
Or Regé-Jean, maybe?
Don't come for us. Yes, he that kind of character can be annoying. Mm-hmm. Like his stoic, I'm a really good noble, semi-perfect character.
I totally bought it.
He was, and you know what? Something they did in the movie. I'm glad that he didn't go with them.
Yeah, he just left.
He left, and I remember thinking like, that's a good decision because they wrote him in a way to where he was so badass that he probably could have solved everything for them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like every decision worked. I would love a sequel to this movie. Like I didn't think
I would love a sequel. Like when the movie was over, I was like, dang, I can't get 30 more minutes.
Exactly. I want to be in this world with these characters. Hugh Grant was the villain of the movie. He was great. Like I'm like honestly, I'm trying to think of like a critique. Okay, now thinking about it, like in just a second, maybe he didn't play the main villain. He played one of the villains. The main villain, I kind of maybe wanted something more from her, or like
more of a motive other than just being evil for evil's sake.
She,
that would have been nice. Yes.
What was her name? I don't remember her name from the movie.
It's right underneath her real name.
Safina?
Yeah.
What was it? Because they gave like a backstory. They were like, we're red mages or cloaks or we're evil. Baby, help me. What was it?
Oh, I don't remember.
They were just like
the Thanes.
Yeah,
they were Thanes, I believe is what their tribe or people were called.
Something like that.
But yes, I mean, you always want to have a compelling villain, and I would say the villain wasn't very compelling. I liked her look. I thought she looked menacing and scary. Like the whole time, I'm like, now why are they trusting this witch?
I know she looks so
evil.
Look
how evil she looks.
She is my most trusted advisor.
She looks ready to kill everybody.
Which I guess is true. Well, why is everyone else trusting her? But Hugh Grant knew she was evil.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
He did, but the rest of the nobles and whoever didn't know. And you're right. That is on them. You can look at her, and when she in the end of the movie when she starts killing people, it's like, why are you shocked?
Why are you shocked?
And also, like, I guess I would say this, like her main goal kind of seemed underwhelming.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There wasn't a real true motive.
Like,
she was just evil for evil's sake.
And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of was zoned out for a little bit here and there throughout the movie. That's just on me. That's not a movie. But like, who was that shadowy figure she was talking to in the corner?
I'm not sure.
Was that like her boss? Like,
I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
I think that was the main guy.
The goal wasn't to bring him back. I thought that was or something.
Yeah, they lost me on that.
So it wasn't just me.
I'm not sure.
All right, so if you know what was going on, if you paid better attention to the movie than we did, let us know. What was that scene?
What was that? Yeah, I'm not. I'm not too sure on that. So I would say the villain's motivations were a little whatever.
Yeah,
and then also I felt like Doric could have had more of a
more backstory.
She told it to us, but the movie was so good at not telling you a lot of things. It was more they would show you.
They would literally, which I guess that's
go
part
back
of,
and show you the story. Something that would happen.
That's like D&D, right? Telling stories and like showing, like, right?
You create a character and they have a backstory and you give them their abilities.
Yeah, so I guess that's the movie's version of doing that. It would just show a backstory. It's cool. They did a good job. We probably did need that. You're right.
I needed a little bit more from her as far as like our land. I just needed more.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. Justice Smith, who I don't really care about Justice Smith and anything he's in. I'm not gonna for real. Like every time I see him in a movie, I'm just like, ugh.
I'm glad the man's eating. He getting his bag. I'm happy for him.
No hate, but just when he's in a movie, I don't think I'm usually gonna either like him or like the movie.
I agree. Same
I'm just being real. I enjoyed him in this.
Yeah.
His brand of acting worked in this movie.
Yeah, it did.
So he starts off as like a I guess he sucked as being a wizard. Mm-hmm. But I mean,
he had no confidence. I mean, it was like the first thing they said about him as a character, as a person. And of course, he gains confidence throughout the film. There's just a lot of payoff, and I think all these actors fit their roles extremely well.
They did a good job.
Very good casting.
Well, the only the only thing I guess you could is I don't want. Listen, child actors, right?
It's a nitpick, I guess.
Is it a nitpick?
Maybe.
She like 14, 15 years old.
She was fine.
Chris Pine's daughter. You know what? I think it's a combination of the actress, but mostly I think I wanted more from that character.
I wanted her to be in the group a little bit more.
I wanted her to be in the group.
Yeah.
And they were showing scenes of, her growing up and stuff, and I was thinking, oh, okay. So she's going to become part of the group.
Yeah, I was excited. Like, okay, they're going to have a young person in their group too, and that's fun.
Which can be because once again, child actors, but it didn't work. They didn't give her enough to do. She was just there to be like, okay, Hugh Grant, you're telling me my dad's bad, and you know what? He hasn't been here for a while. He did abandon me. I'm gonna blindly trust you. Yeah. And listen, I get it. She didn't have. It's one of those things where it's like, no character, no. How come you just don't like the main character? We like him. You should like him. Yes. But she has more. She has more history with him, obviously, in this world. So give her the benefit of the doubt. Eventually, she does like a scene later after Hugh Grant, poisons her mind. She's like, I should talk to my dad, and it would have been resolved. But obviously, the movie needs to happen. But I just want, I don't know. I don't know if it was, I don't want to completely blame the actress, but I wanted something more from that character. And I think it was a combo of the actress / what they gave her to do.
Well, maybe when there's a second one, the film's doing well by word of mouth. It's not doing like crazy, but I think with more people out here being like, you should go see it. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
I think families could take their kids. There are some scenes. Some of the practical effects and some of the creatures might be a little creepy.
Well, sure.
The witch herself.
People do get stabbed and like villains. Stuff dies.
Blood and stuff.
Exactly. It's a PG-13 movie. It's like. Listen, these kids have been watching Marvel movies for all these years and shit. They can watch this. They can watch
this.
They
can
honestly.
Handle it.
Yeah.
I would say halfway through the film, this is the first movie in a long time that I wanted to see watch the behind the scenes, like the making of, because I was really just like, wow, how did they do this?
Oh, okay.
I was really impressed with literally all the effects, the practical, the CGI,
the
sets. I just was like, how did they do this? The camera works really good in this.
Yeah.
That scene with Simon, Simon Wizard guy, when we first meet him, and he's controlling the gravity. I love that.
It did look good. I mean, they used that $150 million budget.
They did
very, very well.
Very
you know, if that's what the budget was, sometimes I think
Jonathan alone, absolutely.
Jonathan
beautiful.
Jonathan was probably $100 million of that budget, honestly. But no, it is a really good movie. I wish I could watch it again. Honestly, like I wish I could just download all the information again. Because then I go to the movies. You got to pay for it.
It'll probably be streaming somewhat soon. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully it has a
hopefully
good
it does well enough
theatrical run and people go see it. We totally recommend it. Go see this movie if you just want to have fun, y'all.
I'm shocked. Like I don't know who would not like this. You know.
Yeah.
Like even I can think of like 2 like heavy YouTube critics who wouldn't like it. But like, you know, if you're a normal person, I feel like you would like this movie.
Normal standards.
Yes. I think
realistic
standards. Yes. Yeah. If you like action, if you like a comedy, if you like a fun time, I think you will like this.
I know that our next cat is going to be named Jonathan.
Jonathan? We can't.
Jonathan Barnard.
That's too much.
And I will love him deeply.
Can we call him Jar?
Sure, yeah, Jar for short.
For short?
Yes.
Jonathan.
Jar for short.
I can't co-sign this yet. Let me watch the movie again. Jonathan, no.
If you guys have seen D&D, what is it? Party Amongst Thieves? If you've seen this film,
are you serious?
Honor Amongst Thieves.
Yeah.
Let us know how it made you feel.
You're making it fancier. You're saying amongst. It's among.
Oh, Among Thieves?
Amongst Thieves.
Among Us? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let us know how you feel about it. Let us know your thoughts on the film. Did you enjoy the cast? Did you enjoy the writing? What about that CGI or the lack thereof? I thought it was very impressive. I loved it.
Do you also agree that Michelle Rodriguez has never been in a better movie?
That's really what I want to know. This is the best movie she's ever been in. This is it. This is the best Michelle Rodriguez performance ever.
They did a good job casting her and being the character she was for this movie.
Because she probably is. Don't you think this is Michelle? I think she's a very sweet person in real life.
Okay, here we go.
Sorry, y'all. From interviews and things, and when she talks about Paul Rudd. Not Paul Rudd. Paul Walker. I'm sorry, there's a lot of Pauls.
Why are you getting your Pauls mixed up?
They're both wonderful, beautiful people. One was. Oh my God. Anyway, she seems wonderful. She seems like a really sweet heart, like a sweet person. If we call you a bad actor, we're not shitting on you personally. No.
God. No. Michelle, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, we love you. We cannot wait for Fast 10.
We really can't.
We can't wait for Fast 10.
We can't wait for Fast 10.
It's all about family. We're see y'all next time.
Okay.
Thank y'all for listening, watching. Holy shit.
Let's get out of here quick.
Listening and watching it.
Just say bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, check us out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Barnard Babble. That's BARNARD BABBLE.